Cheers, welcome to my channel. This is a timely tarot oracle reading about random shift. If you resonate with the title and or the thumbnail, this is the perfect reading for you, delivered at the perfect time, courtesy of the universe through the language of synchronicity. This is a timely reading, meaning if you're watching it at this time, it is the perfect time for you. Having said that, if it has been a while since I posted this, what was going on in your life back then, that could give you further clarity to your situation now. So I did a little quick meditation here before beginning this reading, and the underlying energy for this reading is the world. So the world energy is talking about, you know, a new cycle beginning after, in the major arcana of tarot, the world represents the end of a cycle. So the Fool begins his cycle at the 0 point, and then he continues on until he hits the World card. Then that means, okay, this cycle is over. You've achieved what you can achieve. You've learned everything you can from this cycle. It's now time to move into a new one. Take what you learned and apply that to the new cycle. This energy is also talking about, for my oracle, Tales from the Vector, indifference came up. So indifference is a karmic space, an energy that we can all fall into with ease, actually. Karma, a lot of people feel karma is about punishment, but karma is actually cause and effect for your actions and inactions. And, you can have direct karma where it's you do something and you directly cause karma for yourself. You could have indirect karma where, sometimes your ancestors and even your descendants' actions can affect you. Maybe your ancestors didn't have time to clean up their shift before they left, and crossed over the veil. And now it's up to the bloodline to clean up anything that was left unresolved. And then that can be indirect karma. That can also be from people you associate with, your actions and inactions around that kind of energy. We also have karmic spaces that we can fall in. They're like energies that are very common for humanity to fall into. We're human. We get tempted. We have, we are unaware sometimes. Sometimes it's just like we don't feel like doing the right thing, whatever it is. But so this is talking about indifference. And indifference, it's basically saying, a lot of people will say, oh, we're all in it together. This kind of is the energy of when you can see other people suffering and you become indifferent to it. On the surface, everything looks like all unicorns and rainbows and flowers, and it's the sun shining after a storm, and it's all pretty. But underneath the surface, there's homeless people, and there's people who are suffering at a great level. And quite often we walk by this. Quite often in our major cities, we walk by this every day. We see this, and after a while, we can become indifferent to it. And indifference is when it's not the same as neutrality. Neutrality is when you get neutral to the extremes so that you can come to a strong choice somewhere, in the middle. And whereas indifference is where I don't care if people are suffering anymore. I really don't care. It's that type of energy, and I don't care if I cause people suffering. That's the space of indifference. So we do have this energy here about the Emperor. And so the Emperor is someone who's very well established. This is someone who's an authority figure, high up in whatever he does for his living, or what he's about, his businesses, etc. He's very successful generally, and he wears his armor underneath his robe because he is ready for action at any moment. He's someone who is all about performance. So whatever he does well. And he has gained a reputation for someone that's wise, that you can go to. He quite often is an authority figure. Whatever businesses he is in, or whatever projects he's involved in, he generally is running the show. This is very much alpha male energy. Sometimes this energy can be controlling. It can be my way or the highway type of energy. And then we have the wounded warrior here. So the wounded warrior energy is talking about someone that has been determined to stay on their path. You know, the wands here represent the element of fire, and they're made of wood because wood feeds fire. And also they talk about, you know, from the tree, the deep roots of ancestors, and then the offshoots representing our descendants. So this is about taking passionate action and having passion for life. And this is basically, the wounded warrior is someone who is determined to stay on their destined path. You know, they don't want to get distracted by anything that was not part of God's plan. They feel that they have a destiny, and they're constantly working to improve themselves. A lot of times people will say, I don't know what my purpose is, you know, and they feel lost. Your purpose for everybody is to be the best version you can be of yourself. And, you know, be a good person that brings more beauty to the earth, and, you know, creating a beautiful garden on the planet instead of destruction. That energy is different for everybody, and we all have our own special, unique qualities that we were born with, and that we could bring to, you know, improve the world, improve ourselves, improve our families. You know, it's a win for us, it's a win for our families, and it's a win for the universe when people step into that power. And so this is someone who's been very determined. There's only 10 wands in the tarot, and they've managed to land 8. They look tired. It's been a struggle, leaning hard on the 9th one here. This energy talks about, this is a real feat to be able to stay on your path, you know, keep your heart open. Clearly this person has been through it, but they've managed to land these. These basically are seeds that you've planted through your actions, now coming, you know, they're growing, and they represent the harvest of your actions, and sometimes the actions and inactions, plus those of other people. And then we have this is talking about being in rough waters right now. Yeah, so I would say that this could be the Emperor's energy. This could be, you know, when we see people and we admire them and they look all put together and everything, we don't see sometimes the inner and outer struggles that they go through to be in the position that they're in. This is talking about whenever there's rough water in tarot, it's representing volatile emotions, maybe chaos somewhere, that type of energy. This is about wanting to be in smoother, calmer waters, you know, not having all this disruptive emotion. And we have 6 swords here. You know, this adult and child, they have no baggage, and this conveyor is digging very deep with this pole to shove off and, you know, deep into the mud to push them out of the rough waters into the calm. So this is saying it's a decision that they've made to move forward in this way. And quite often this can represent, this adult and child without baggage can represent taking a journey with Source, with God, to be able to you know, come to some sort of understanding of what happened when you were a child. Perhaps your inner child needs some healing. And this is about, you know, the swords represent the energy of our thoughts, basically. And thoughts are expressed through words, whether that be written or verbalized. And this is sort of the, how do we talk to ourselves? How, you know, like what happened to us when we were children? And, you know, our subconscious mind is formed by the time we're 6 or 7, and we don't remember a lot of what happened to us when we were like under the age of 5 or 6. You know, we might, especially when we're babies, and yet when we're a baby, we're like a sponge. We're absorbing our environment at a very high level. And, you know, the thoughts of the people that are put in charge of our care. So, you know, however, what their values are, how they deal with money, how they deal with relationships, how they deal with work and community and all of that energy, that is really heavily imprinted on us. And the subconscious mind is formed by the time we're 6, and we carry that well into our adulthood, but we don't necessarily remember, you know, a lot of what happened ourselves. And so we're relying on the thoughts of other people telling us what we were like and, you know, who we were with and all that type of energy. So this is about going inward, meditation, prayer, and getting together with source energy, with the Most High, to ask for healing for that inner child. Because many times when we're having like difficulties in life, it's because and there's something in our subconscious mind that we're acting upon. And if we can heal it, it can maybe improve our results in many areas of our life. And then we have this energy of the Queen of Pentacles. And the Queen of Pentacles is representing someone who comes from generational wealth. She is known to be very resourceful. She can make something out of nothing. And she also prefers quality to quantity. Now, the one thing I always ask myself about the Queen of Pentacles is, why does she have to be so resourceful when she comes from generational wealth? So something must have happened to that wealth. Pentacles don't just represent money. They represent health, wealth, and happiness in the 3D world. But a big part of that is money, of course. But you could have all the money in the world and still not be living the lifestyle that you want to live. And so, you know, if you have a lot of money, but you don't have your health and you don't have anyone to love, or that loves you, then life might feel like your lifestyle is empty. So that it's more than just earning money or that type of energy. So, you know, this generational wealth is a legacy you pass down to your children and your children's children. So there's something that happened here, possibly in the past, you know, when you were younger or whenever, and it has affected your ability to have that lifestyle that you really want, and or that you were meant to have. And this is about learning discernment. So like the Queen of Swords is representing an energy of discernment. So she's been there, done that. She has the t-shirt. She does not want to put up with any more bullshit in her life. She's done. She's all for this new world energy. Her head is above the clouds. She's done. Like, she does not, she's like, okay, I'll take this energy coming in from my new world, like the success from what I have had gone through from the past. I'll take that. Quite often she comes off as being very cold because of this. Quite often this is someone who's divorced or separated. And she's very independent because she's had to be. And so that's sitting on this energy. And it seems like it's something that happened in her childhood, or that her inner child needs healing so that she can open up her heart to a better lifestyle, more love, more, you know, that type of energy. She does have her head above the clouds. So she's saying, I am willing to receive that, but I'm not willing to put up with any bullshit. And so if you don't come into me correct, don't even bother coming to talk to me at all. Quite often, there's a lot of gossip about the Queen of Swords because she is so independent. Like, she doesn't, you know, there's a lot of gossip, but it's about her. She doesn't participate in it. She's not interested in she's actually quite indifferent or neutral. I'd say it's more of a neutral energy in some cases. In some cases, it could be indifferent to other people's suffering because she has suffered enough herself that she gets, and that's how indifference breeds indifference, you know? So you might start off trying to be neutral to it and then end up indifferent to people, other people's suffering, and sometimes even your own suffering. And then this is talking about what we deserve. So the rainbow is, you know, comes out after a storm. So this is saying, like, after this energy has happened, there's been something clearly that's happened here to put her in this energy. That, you know, this cycle is going to be over. And this is what the Ten of Cups represents, like ultimate fulfillment. It quite often is like a gift from the divine after suffering a lot of difficulty in life. And once you do that healing, all of these different cups of love, like a companion that you really love to be with, that intimate partner, you know, children that you love, that love you, you know, the beautiful home in a beautiful environment, and maybe the career that you love and the clients you love, and that type of energy. And so this is talking about after hardship and after going inward and learning discernment and learning to heal that inner child, maybe what happened when you were younger, and also here, recognizing that the battle's over and that things can come more easily to you. So this is ultimate fulfillment in a perfectly imperfect world. Will we ever be ultimately fulfilled 24/7? Probably not, but we can at least enjoy parts of that. And then we have this is talking about someone that an energy of really being focused on making money. Now, as I said, the pentacles are about lifestyle, but this particular card is making money because this person, it's the only card in the tarot where the person's literally pounding out a coin. So sometimes this could be illegally making money, like counterfeit type energy, that white collar crimes. But most of the time this is being focused on really making money, and maybe having to, for whatever reason, being in this, having to be resourceful when you come from a situation where there was generational wealth. So there could have been a disaster, or something happened, your parents lost their money, the grandparents lost the money, and now everybody in the family maybe is in this position where they're being forced to work very hard for something that they've already had and lost. And so this is talking about, it also can be saying, though, that you might be working on something that's going to be bringing in a lot of pentacles, and you can see the results here. You might already have 6 pentacles done and you're working on the 7th and just 1 to go. Or maybe you're already in this new world energy and you have 1 done and you're working on the 2nd and you have 6 to go. And this is the 10 of Pentacles. So you notice here, this is about now moving into this from from the 9 to the 10. And so this is talking about getting that load home. And so what this is saying is a lot of people quit before, right when they're about to become successful. He is very close to his home here, but he can't see it because his head is stuck in the wands here. It's a heavy load and he's just focusing on being able to get home. There's a saying for this. It's saying you can't see the forest because of the trees. It means you're so caught up in the details that you can't see the bigger picture. And so this energy quite often is speaking about the load is heavy. Is this whole load yours? Is it what you planted here? Because you've got 8 planted and he's, he's leaning hard on this 9th one. Now, is he leaning hard on that 9th one and it's not really his burden to carry? And so sometimes this energy can talk about carrying other people's burdens. And if you are, it's time to put them down, because if there's a cycle coming to an end and you've learned everything from it, the karma is going to come around, and that's this energy here. So if you're hanging on to burdens that belong to other people and carrying it for them, you're going to get hit with the karma, and you're going to not be receiving everything that you should receive. And so this is definitely saying, put those burdens down in the field there. You can phone them up when you get home. It's only 10 minutes away here. You think it's further away, but you're almost there. So it's saying, don't quit now, get there and sort through your harvest here. And anything that doesn't belong from someone else, put that burden down. Let them deal with their own burdens. Phone them up and let them know, hey, I put your burdens down. They're in the field. If you want to go pick them up and work on it, you go ahead. But don't expect them to be all excited. Yay, you put my burdens down. Generally, people who let other people carry their burdens have a tendency to, not be happy when they put them down. And so this energy is talking about that. And this can also represent something like, maybe you purchased a house 5 years ago and it was a really good deal. You really enjoyed it. You've worked on it. You've enjoyed living in it. But now you want to move. You have a really good opportunity somewhere else and you have to sell it, but the market's soft. So now it's like, now I have to do work to it and I have to get this done and that done and I have to hire a realtor. I got to do all this, and I have a lot of work to do to be able to sell it so I get the most of out of it, to move forward and purchase another place. And so that's a burdensome energy, but it's not a burden. It's an asset that now you feel burdened by because your circumstances change. So sometimes it's not about bad choices or other people's energy. It's just about, okay, well, now you're going to have to deal with that. And, that's life. And then this is, though, having a passion for new, like a lot of passion, and a more passionate outlook, waking up in the morning and saying, I can't wait to get up. Tomorrow I'm going to do this, this, and this, and I'm so excited about the journey I'm on right now. So the pages would work for the king and queen, and at a very young age, around 7 to 14, because back then they had half the lifespan that we have now, and so they would be working and delivering messages within the palace walls, and they would, deliver errands, communication, that type of energy. And then as they got older, they might even be considered for knighthood when they get, to 21 and can afford if they could afford a horse. So it's kind of this energy. It would be a real coup for someone to have a position like that. And, this is talking about having that youthful exuberance when you're starting out for life and you're really passionate. The pyramids in the background represent a love of adventure and learning about the world, and getting out there and discovering different areas of the world, cultures, foods, all of that. Just really feeling enthusiastic. The Page of Wands, though, you have to remember he is very focused on his wand at this energy. Think of a young masculine energy under the age of 21. This energy is, he's very focused on his wand. He's looking up to it. Quite often he's thinking with his little head. So when he brings some information in, you have to take it with a grain of salt, because he quite often has his mind on other things. And this energy has a tendency to take a while to grow up, to mature. And so this is talking about, this could be at anyone, at any age. You could be 80 years old and be feeling in this energy. So it's a feeling, of that type of masculine opportunity energy. And also the communication in the old days would also always be in person, and this would always be a male. But now this could be a female in her masculine energy. All the figures in the tarot are archetypes, meaning that they're not gender specific. They are talking about masculine and feminine energies. And so this is representing, the information could be coming in many ways, and less likely to be coming in person. This could be information from a phone call, text message, an email. It could be something that arrives in the post, documents, papers, that type of energy. This could represent, applying for work somewhere and getting the position, and that type, some sort of good news coming in that way. That's going to move you forward in your career, and or having passion for someone. And something, and really working, enjoying your work on it every day, getting together with people, talking about it, that type of energy. So it could be also, on social media a lot of the time. You could get message from someone, maybe you see an event posted there, and you go to the event, and the next thing you know, you run into the person that's just perfect for this energy. Like it's exactly who you needed to meet. It's that type of energy. You also need to consider what's going on at the top of the pyramid with the elites, the leaders of the countries, etc. The trends, all of that has a huge effect on everybody below the top of the triangle of the pyramid. And so keeping an eye on that, even 5 minutes a day, can really empower you. And then we have the Page of Pentacles. So the Page of Pentacles is talking about I feel this project that you're working on, maybe someone's breathing new life into it. You've put some burdens down, and you're able to maybe even attract a partner, someone that is also interested maybe in working with this on this project with you, or possibly you find the perfect person that you don't even have to list your house. You run into them at an event and they say, what, you're in that neighborhood? I've driven by that house. I've always wanted that house. Then you save a lot of money on realtor fees and all that time and energy, and it works out perfect. They can afford it. You are happy with the price, and you get to move on. Isn't that a beautiful story? It happens. The pentacles do represent the element of earth, so quite often real estate is involved. I sold a house that way one time. The person that saw the house after I purchased it. He said, I have rode by this house on my bike my whole life and I want to buy it. And he did. And I was ready to sell and it was the right price. So that type of energy. So that kind of shift can happen. All right, I'm going to, if you've enjoyed this reading up to this point, please do give it a like and comment, and I'm going to, and consider subscribing. You're more than welcome on the channel. I also am going to clarify now. Whoops, I'm shuffling the wrong deck here. Kitty, you're getting me all, yeah, you're being a pain in the butt. She likes the energy of the readings, but she wants me to feed her too, so she's torn. Should I just sit at my dish and complain that I ate all the food up and there's none left? Or should I actually be a good girl and sit on the lap quietly? All right, so we have, this is my Oracle Tales from the Vector. This is one of the paintings, as I said. This is in the painting of the karmic space of the indifference. And I started this back in 2007, and in 2021, I completed all 64 paintings. I do have a website, talesfromthevector.com. And this is actually a reproduction. A lot of my paintings are very big 3 foot by 4 foot dragon paintings from the future. And so I'm getting them, this is actually a reproduction, and I'm getting the dragons done. I'm seeing if they'll look okay, because they're so big, to shrink down to about this size so I can feature them out here as well. But I've started, I'm working on bringing the Oracle out, but for the time being, I'm just enjoying playing with it. I do have quite a bit of written information, but you may have noticed in life that things don't always go the way we plan on paper. So I'm just gathering information, and I will put the numbers on these cards represent the paintings in the order that they are in the gallery on my website. So if you want to take a look at them, you can do so. This is the foolhardy journey. So this is talking about on this new energy, this new world that you're entering into, you can anticipate being on a really good journey, enjoying your energy here, being on your destined path and having fun. Yay. You've been very patient. I feel like you went through a difficult cycle. And I think when you decided to go inward and heal this, whatever this was from your childhood, that it has really empowered you. This is a huge energetic upgrade going on this new. You've been really dedicated. And I feel like something really serendipitous happens, to make your life way easier. And then you just realize, oh, what an upgrade. And this here is saying this is a karmic space of the lack of awareness. Never underestimate the power of willful ignorance. So you may have whatever this was that happened in your childhood that you resolved when you went off, to heal this energy. There was a lack of awareness that was causing you to miss a lot of opportunities, and now that has been healed, and I feel like that's kind of being able to look at things from a different perspective. The judgment is God's judgment, and it's unfettered. So this is talking about the cosmic heart. God is the only one that can really judge other people and judge us, really, because God knows what's in people's hearts. And so this is talking about cosmic judgment. And sometimes we can walk by people and you'll hear some people saying, well, they deserve it. Look at them. They're bums. They don't, and you don't know what has happened to people. You don't have any idea who those people are behind the scenes there. And so, only God can have that judgment. We can judge people's actions, etc., but are we correct? Do we know what happened to this person when they were a child? Do we understand what's in their heart? And so it's talking about, of course we have to have judgment legally and otherwise on the planet, but judging another person is, I would leave that more up to God, really, because we don't know. We just don't know what that person has been through. Sometimes they don't even know. They have to go and do a bunch of healing just to find out what happened so that they can heal from it. So this is the Wheel of Fortune turning in your favor, and it's talking about the Wheel of Fortune is the past, the present, and the future sinking in together and becoming in the now. So this is happening. It's already turning on the spiritual realm, and this is life is getting better because you're on God's plan, God's path, and we have the moon energy. So if there's any moon energy around you, at this time, you want to really embrace that. Use your intuition. If you use your intuition and your logic together, it brings in creative solutions that empower people. And we have the energy of the Empress. So the Empress energy, this is interesting. So this could be talking maybe that an emperor comes into your life and this upgrades you to the Empress energy. You know, when we start off on this, you have this new attitude, this new way of being, and you attract the energy of an emperor. Now, whether or not that's in matters of love, or if that's in matters of friendship or business, whatever that is, it's sitting on this pentacle, this lifestyle, so it could be all of the above, basically. So yeah, this is a really beautiful reading. This is about talking about really staying on your path, learning from what you are, and recognizing judgment is, you can become neutral to what's going on around you, and quite often we have to become neutral. That's very different from becoming indifferent to other people's suffering and judging people because of where we feel they should be. You know, that's up to God to judge that. So I do hope you've enjoyed this. Please give it a like and comment if you have. Consider subscribing if you resonate with the channel. I really enjoy this reading. It feels like it's full of opportunity and, a really good lifestyle. And that could represent, if you feel like you're in a position where your lifestyle is not what you want, then this is an energy of what you could do to work on it to improve it. All right, bye for now. Hey, little kitty, I gotta get you off my lap.